So after you fix the ring base and also you put some glue and stuck it on, you can see that I have put glue only in the center, and my edges are without any glue, because if you have glue right at the edge where we are going to sew the edges, the needle is going to stuck in the glue. So I'm not going to add much glue at the edges. And before we proceed, I want to I want to trim some of the backing or the suede to make it more circular and more even, so that it is even with the beaded part of the ring. So use a sharp scissors and trim away wherever you feel necessary, so that you get a nice round shape. So I'm satisfied with this now. I'm proceeding to make the beaded edges. And this thread that you see here was the one that I had left over while working the top of the beadwork. So I'm going to use the same thread now. And I've chosen this size 8 cream color bead to make the edges. And before we start, I want to take the needle back like this. Okay, so that is where we are going to start our edging, beaded edge work for this ring. To begin, you have to pick up 2 beads at a time. Only in the beginning you're going to be picking up 2 beads. Bring them down and measure the distance of these 2 beads, and exactly where it ends, there you will have to insert your needle from the front to the back of your beadwork like this. Okay, not at the very edge, but a few millimeters into the edge of the ring. So when you put in the 2 beads, it will be like this. Now take your needle up the second bead that you added and down the first bead, and then up the second bead. So when you do this series of stitches, both your beads will sit flat like this next to each other. From now we are going to be picking up only 1 bead at a time to make the edges. Pick up 1 cream color bead, pass a needle from the front of the work to the back, okay, take a look at where you are passing your needle. So make sure that it's not at the very edge, otherwise your stitches will come out. And after you pass the needle from the front to the back, bring up the needle again from the same bead up like this, and then your bead will be in a sitting position, and it will be next to the one that you added earlier. Same way, pick up another bead, pass from the front to the back, come up the same bead again, and this stitch is done. So all around we are going to be working this same stitch till you complete this round. But one important point that you should note here is the number of beads that you put on in this round should be an even number. Yeah, so you have to when you are coming to the end of the edging, you have to count and make sure that your number of beads are in even. And if you feel that you have to make certain adjustments, so see like this, when you come here now, I have got 33 beads. I have counted, I have got 33 in this, and so I have kept aside 3 more beads, so because I want to add only 3 more to make it 36. and I am going to adjust those 3 beads in the space that is left over here. Sometimes it may be too cramped, or sometimes it may be a little there may be a little gap, but you will have to adjust your stitching a little so that you can fit in only even number of beads in that space there. And the last one. And see, when you put in the last one, so adjust the position of your needle so that it fills up the gap there like this. There may be a little gap, but then it will get adjusted when we join both the first and the last beads. So now you are going to join it to the first bead that we added. So bring your needle down the next bead and the last one there. So when you do this stitch, the first one and the last bead will get joined, and then there will be a continuous row of beads in the edge. So once we have done this, just to reinforce, making one more stitch here, and my thread is also getting over, so I want to end this thread and add a new thread. So to end this thread, what I am doing is I brought the thread where there is a lot of bead work, and I am going to make some stitches up and down to hide these stitches. See, it won't come at the back. You will just have to pass the thread in between the beadwork there. We make a few running stitches up and down, and that is enough. You don't have to make any knots as such. So I run it up and down once or twice so that this thread gets hidden inside the beadwork. See, this one has got some space here where I can do this kind of ending of the thread, so that's why I'm doing. But in other beadwork where it is not so easy to pass through the beadwork, there will be other methods of finishing the thread. So just if you make one or two, it's enough, and I am just making some extra there, which is not necessary, of course. And when you are satisfied with how good you are finishing your thread, you can cut it off. Now it's time to add the new thread. So to add the new thread also, the method is the same, but before adding the thread, let's make a knot at the end of the thread. You make the knot. And cut off the extra after the knot, the little tail is there, cut that off. And now again I am going to use the front of the beadwork only to start to hide the knot. So you see, like how I am inserting the needle from one part to another part. You just pass your needle and your knot will get hidden among the beadwork there. Okay, and when you're sure that it is tight, you can even make one or two passes like this. So making the second pass. And now I am going to proceed to go to the edge so that I can start my next layer of the edging stitches. So my needle is coming out very near to the edge, and now I am bringing up the needle from under one of the size 8 bead that we added in the first round. Okay, now this is the position for us to begin the next round of our edging. I am taking some size 15 beads in antique gold color. and size 11 beads in the green that I used for the center of the ring. Pick up 111, 115, 111. So 3 beads at a time. Pass it down the next bead. So bring your needle down the next bead like this, and this forms a nice cute peak or triangle there. Again bring your needle up the next bead, pick up 111, 115, 111 and pass your needle down the next bead. Bring it up the next bead and continue the stitch like this all around. Because we work in pairs in this round, that is why I told you we need an even number of beads in the base round. I've come to the end now, so there are just 2 more left here. So again we'll do the last of this edging stitch. Okay, once you have finished this, if you feel like and if you think you need you can do another round of reinforce the same thing that you did now. So before that, check your work all in the front and the back and make sure that you have covered up everything and your work is nice and neat. And need to, you can reinforce, that means do the same stitch again without adding any beads. But it's not necessary because it is just one row of edging, so reinforcement is not necessary. We can end the thread here in the same way that we did earlier. So I'm just making one reinforcement here just so that I'll be ready to end the thread. See, bring the needle through into your beadwork and again make some stitches up and down to bind off the stitch. No need to make knots, just a few stitches up and down is enough. And see, the needle doesn't come out. The thread is all hidden inside the beadwork. So now I'm satisfied with the stitching, and this is how your bead ring will look now. And once you're ready, you can cut off the thread and enjoy your ring.